Hello everyone, it's me, James Eli Gemmaker, and in today's video, we're reading a scary story from Reddit. So without any further ado, let's get reading into the story. Let's do it. Alright, let's get to the story. The story is called The Red Eyes. True story by u/tinman underscore 28337. This is a real and true story by this person who wrote it. So, to let you know if this is real or not, I don't know for sure. Even if it says it's true, I don't know because it could be fake. But until we get done reading this, we'll know until we really know if it's really real or really, fake slash BS. But without any further ado, let's get into the story. Let's read it. The Red Eyes True Story. I never told this story to anyone until now. I stay in an area of North Carolina that back in the early 1800s had the biggest sawmill in the United States at that time. The town of Elizabethtown now sits on the grounds of that sawmill. To the north is Bladen Lake State Forest. There's a creek called Turnbull Creek, named after the Indian chief that laid claim to the land there. My grandfather told me Chief Turnbull struck a deal with the sawmill and allowed them to cut the trees except in one area where many of their ancestors were laid to rest. The story goes that the loggers began cutting, and for years no problem had ever came between the loggers and the tribe. Until the day they cut on the sacred land. Oh boy, I can see where that led to. A battle broke out, and in the end the tribe was slaughtered, all except the chief. It was said he cursed the land and swore to protect it forever. It was said he changed into a black smoke as dark as coal, and in it was two bright red eyes like fire. Oh, that would be scary. What the heck? So basically he would appear as like a vapor of black smoke with two red eyes in it, or two red dots for eyes. That is, oh, that is scary. I wouldn't want to see that, but then again, I might want to because I like the paranormal. So, you know. Anyways, back to the story. A story when told in detail would scare any kid from venturing off into those woods, except me and my then best friend. Oh, you don't want to hear that, but friendship's not going to last forever, unfortunately. In my younger years, I loved to explore. So naturally, those woods made a great place to have adventures and discoveries. The creek always gave relief from the hot summer days. The cool water fed by springs that was so cold that in the heat it would give you goosebumps. I used to think there was gold in that water, for the glittery flakes you would find all over your skin after a dip in the tea-colored waters. You always had to be careful of where you took a swim because cottonmouths, water moccasins, and rattlesnakes enjoyed its banks. Ew, I'm not really a snake person. Dang. The forest around it was loaded with wildlife, like deer, black bear, raccoons, and squirrels could be seen around on a daily basis. Sometimes, if you were lucky, you would find an arrowhead or a railroad spike from the old logging rail that went down the side of the creek. Huh. Sounds fascinating. The old dirt road to the creek was a good hour walk from the neighborhood. I remember one spot on that road was always cold, even in the summer. Really? So cold, in fact, we would run as fast as we could to get through it. Sometimes it felt like the temperature would drop from 99 to 50 degrees right there. Eventually, I got curious as to why. Maybe it was another creek that nobody knew about, or a pond filled with fish, or maybe something else. Whatever it was, I was going to find out. Why? There's just some things you don't want to find out, though. Yeah. I should know. There's just some things you better left off not knowing. Anyways, back to the story. One June, me and my best friend set out to find out. My grandfather told us not to, and told me the story of Chief Turnbull. I wrote it off as an old tale to scare kids off, and set off for the woods anyway. I never believed ghost stories, This was this this one wasn't even gonna scare me either. I told my best friend to be prepared for him to try to scare us, and off we went. I remember walking forever through some woods and never finding anything. So we decided to follow in the cold air to see where it went. And after some time passed, we came up on a thick area in the woods. Thorny vines and thick underbrush was everywhere. The cold air was coming from the side of this thicket. We found what we thought was a deer trail and crawling on our hands and knees we made our way through. It felt like 100 feet we crawled before everything cleared. No trees, no brush, just tall grass and mounds of dirt scattered about, and the air was freezing cold. The whole month clearing was surrounded by the thicket like a ring. The air was misty like a light morning fog. In the middle of the clearing was what looked like smoke from a campfire. Smoke from a campfire? What the? It was a dark smoke. Oh, I know where this is heading. Oh. And in it was what looked like a person standing there. All I could see is this outline of a body, but when it turned around I saw the eyes, bright red like fire. It moved toward us quicker than we could react. When we did react, we moved like lightning and had struck us on the feet. I never knew a person could run on all fours, but we did that day. Right back through the thicket so fast. It seemed like a flash. Behind us we could hear something stomping through the woods like a charging bear and people whispering in our ears. Okay, that's kind of creepy. We made it out the thicket and never stopped running. We ran until the air warmed up and we couldn't breathe enough air in. I think it stopped chasing us long before we stopped because we didn't hear it anymore. But why not be a little safe and make sure? When we made it out of the woods, it was starting to get dark. No words spoken on that walk home, just two kids trying to make sense of what happened in our heads. We walked by his house first, then mine was a block away. I had to walk past my grandfather's house to get home. He was sitting on the front porch when I walked by. He asked me if we found what we were looking for, and I told him yes. He asked if I wanted to show him with a smile, in which I replied, no. No. Well, I would have said the exact same thing. I don't want to say what I saw, because it was pretty creepy. Well, beyond that, it's probably pretty messed up, in a sense. The next day I went back to my grandfather's house. He told me how he did the same thing when he was little. How he saw the clearing and the mounds. He said it chased him out of there too. Them woods had a many dark secret, and that was just one of them. I remember him saying, my best friend and I drifted apart after that. He never spoke to me about it, and I never spoke about it to him. He's now the chief of police in a town close by, and I work for an engineering firm building roads and bridges. My stepson came to me not long ago and asked if we could ride that road one night and spotlight him. Wait, what? Sorry about that. My stepson came to me not long ago and asked if we could ride the road one night and spotlight deer. I told him, go if you want to, but I wouldn't. Them woods hide a many dark secrets, some you don't want to discover. Like I said earlier. You don't want to see, there's some things you just don't really need to see. Because it's going to really change your life for the worse and not for the better. I'll tell you that right now. Sometimes I ride that dirt road. Sometimes I will look down it. Sometimes I see a smoky figure standing there with glowing red eyes looking back at me. When I do, I know Chief Turnbull is I know Chief Turnbull is still there, and he's still protecting the sacred lands. He won't have to protect them from me, though. I'll never go back. He won't have to protect them from me, though. I'll never go back. Oh, you probably won't be going back. I won't either. That'd scare the crap out of me. But in a sense, I won't go back. No. But that's the end of my story. That's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, this is. Hope you found it scary, but it is a true story though. So take what you want from it. I mean, if I would have saw what he saw, I would have been. Yeah, if I would have saw what he saw, I would have crapped my pants and left. Basically, and I'm in the paranormal. I like paranormal, but there's just some things you don't need to see. And when you see it, goodbye. Yeah, there's some things you don't need to see. Just put it out there. With that being said, that is the end of my video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great night. God bless. Be you, be unique, and be unusual. And peace out. Peace out. Peace out.